This, it's water. It's not rare, it's not magical, it's just water. But these little bottled waters sometimes cost more than gas, eggs, or maybe even your dignity. Let's talk about one of the slickest scams in modern history: bottled water. A $100 billion empire built on fear, branding, and the bold idea that your faucet is trying to kill you. When I tell you what's really in these bottles, you're gonna wanna throw one away. So let's go into the beginning when tap water was king. So many of you remember that for most of the 20th century, and maybe for most of you watching don't remember this, that tap water and even hose water was the hero. In the 70s, cities invested a lot in the public water systems, and the EPA regulated water quality. It was clean, tested, and cheap. And basically it was like the Netflix of hydration. Affordable everywhere, and no one complained. But in the late 70s, pollution scandals and urban decay gave bottled waters companies an opening. America saw France Perrier water doing quite well. And when it came to the US, soda companies had to compete with it. Perrier sparkling water actually was from a natural water spring in southern France. It launched a massive US ad campaign in 1977 on the radio and on TV, branding itself as Earth's first soft drink.
Deep below the plains of southern France, in a mysterious process begun millions of years ago, nature herself adds life to the icy waters of a single spring, Perrier. Its natural sparkle is more delicate than any made by man, and therefore more quenching, more refreshing, and the mixer par excellence, naturally sparkling from the center of the earth, Perrier.
And it wasn't just water, it was luxury. At the time, a trip to France from across the pond was a huge luxury. So it worked to make Americans feel like they were tapping into the good life. Pun intended. Soon, ads for bottled water and in-home filtration systems in the US claimed that tap water was risky, outdated, and oh my gosh, low class, because naturally, hydration should come with a side of elitism. By the late 80s, soda giants like Pepsi and Coke needed a new hustle. So Aquafina and Dasani were born. PepsiCo launched Aquafina in 1994, and Coca-Cola released Dasani in 1999. They filtered it, bottled it, and sold it for 1,000 times the price. Because why not? And of course, capitalism. But by the late 1990s and early 2000s, the public began to question it. The imagery and implications of Aquafina and Dasani's marketing misled people into thinking that the water came from some pristine, beautiful, pure spring in an untouched mountain like these images here.
Woo woo! We're gonna give you a little look at our backside. 0, 0, 0. Okay, wow, that is pure nothing. Now, if you're starving for some delicious fat or something, I wouldn't recommend Aquafina, no. But if you're thirsting for something, to make you not thirsty, this is the most mouth-watering water you can find.
Aquafina, so pure, we promise nothing.
Great, we're not gonna let you look at our backside anymore.
Back to life, back to reality.
Back from the fantasy, yes. Tell me how.
Take the initiative, I'll leave it in your hands.
Until you're ready.
Treat yourself well every day with the pure, fresh taste of Dasani.
Perrier began this mindset, so they used it against the public. And Coke took the madness a step further with this campaign. Check out this ad. You can't live without it. What? So living off tap water was a death sentence? Okay. By 2007, Corporate Accountability International, a watchdog group that launched the Think Outside the Bottle campaign, took action. So their goal was to expose misleading marketing practices in the bottled water industry and push them to disclose that their products were sourced from none other than tap water. No wonder we don't see factory images like this in the campaigns. It's a far cry from the majestic springs, surrounded by lush greenery. But convincing us it was more than tap water wasn't the end of it. Farce. So let's keep going. After public pressure and media scrutiny, Pepsi and Coke were forced to admit the truth on the labels. Before 2007, Aquafina's ingredients only said treated water with a mountain image on the front. Now it has to say originates from public water sources. But the myth had already taken hold. Bottled meant better. The truth came out in publicized articles and reports. Regardless, the sales barely dip. We weren't buying water, we were buying the illusion of purity, health, and maybe even wealth. Basically, it's like paying someone to repackage your leftovers and calling it gourmet. Now, while Perrier has always been sourced from a spring in southern France, they weren't innocent. Nestle acquired Perrier in 1992, and it pushed Perrier as the natural mineral water. But behind the scenes, UV treatments, chemical additives, and filtration. These are all the same methods cities use to clean tap water. So this was not natural at all. Nestle, along with corrupt government regulators, hid this for decades while raking in billions. And the results? A French Senate hearing this year in 2025. Nestle's CEO, Laurent Freixe, admitted that Perrier had indeed used illicit methods to treat its water. And on top of that, investigators found dangerous bacterial contamination in one of Perrier's source sites. 3 million bottles had to be recalled and destroyed. So honestly, if your special spring water needs the same chemical spa treatment as my kitchen sink, then maybe stop charging us like it's liquid gold. Anyways, the jig is up and the EU may yank Perrier's natural mineral water labeling and force Nestle to remove all of its unauthorized water treatments and suspend Nestle's use at least of one well at the spring site due to the recent contamination findings. Perrier is still sold, but it's just sparkling filtered French spring water, no better than tap with bubbles. And get this, its recent massive drop in sales has prompted Nestle to put its entire water division for sale. Now, Nestle's Perrier scandal was bad, but wait to hear what Fiji tried to pull. If Perrier was the luxury lie, Fiji was the exotic fantasy. While Pepsi's Aquafina and Coke's Dasani were still selling tap water dressed up as purity before 2007, Fiji was marketing itself as untouched and exotic, feeding the same narrative. If bottled water is pure and elite, then tap must be risky and tacky. And Fiji went so far to print this. They printed ads mocking Cleveland's tap water. So Cleveland said, okay, cool, let's test it. And local leaders were sweating, knowing that this could backfire and drive the residents to leave. And more importantly, safer. And Fiji's water, get this, contained arsenic. And it wasn't at killer levels beyond the FDA safety guidelines, but still, it contained arsenic. Cleveland had none, and testers preferred its refreshing, clean flavor. Fiji aside, in many places, tap water is tested more rigorously than bottled water. A 2019 World Health Organization study found microplastics in 93% of bottled water samples. And in some cases, it contains bacteria, chemical leaching, and plastic particles, especially when it sits in a car, a child's backpack, or when it's in the sun all day. Meanwhile, cities like New York and San Francisco launched campaigns to restore trust in tap water. Some even banned bottled water in government buildings. But the bottled water myth is hard to kill. It's like fearing your clean dinner table and eating off the floor because the floor is in a new shiny wrapper. So what do you think? Do you think tap water is fine? Do you only drink bottled water? And comment if you think that we're being sold something else too that may be cleaner, safer, and fancier, but in reality, it's not. And if you like this video, smash that like button. Like Nestle, smash the truth about water. And share and subscribe for more advertising truth bombs. So this video is dedicated to my sister, Claudia, and her baby daddy, Angelo. And over 10 years ago, when their first newborn was born, They wanted to go all out and make sure that they were the best parents and only give their baby the best. And that included water. And they didn't give him tap water. They got him bottled water. But they didn't get him just any type of bottled water. They cashed out and they got him Fiji water. So they gave him Fiji water for everything. And as you can imagine, this resulted in a few hundred or even thousands of dollars each month. And this is because with millions of other Americans, we're brainwashed to think that bottled water is better. But in this video, we're gonna dispute that myth and we're gonna go into stories. And sure, tap water in some cases like, Flint, obviously is not safe. But for the most decent cities, their tap water is actually drinkable. And in some cases, bottled water is more dangerous.